After months of quiet speculation and subtle clues, Dakota Johnson and Chris Martin's love story has come to an end, and while fans were stunned, those close to the couple say the breakup wasn't exactly a shock. The 50 Shades of Grey star and the Coldplay frontman, who first began dating in 2017, were one of Hollywood's most private yet intriguing couples. Their romance, built on discretion and deep affection, survived years of busy schedules, world tours, and intense public curiosity. But insiders reveal that their recent separation was more of a slow realization than a sudden heartbreak. Dakota is doing really well, a close source shared. This wasn't an explosive breakup. It's been coming for a while. They've been living increasingly separate lives emotionally and physically. In the end, they both recognized it and decided to quietly let go. For Johnson, 35, the split seems to mark a turning point in her personal journey. Friends describe her as focused, peaceful, and incredibly grounded, choosing to channel her energy into creative work rather than sadness. She's strong, another insider said. She loves deeply, but she also understands when it's time to move forward. This wasn't about anger or betrayal. It was about growth and acceptance. Martin, 48, is said to be handling the separation with equal grace. The musician, known for his reflective personality and philosophical take on love, has thrown himself back into music and family life, spending more time with his children, Apple and Moses, whom he shares with ex-wife Gwyneth Paltrow. Chris and Dakota have always had mutual respect, said a friend of the singer. They'll always care for each other, but they simply reached a point where their paths diverged. A love that thrived in silence. From the start, Dakota and Chris's relationship was defined by its quiet simplicity. There were no constant red carpet appearances or attention-seeking displays, just two artists who valued their privacy and calm. They managed to maintain a nearly invisible relationship in a world obsessed with celebrity exposure. When asked about Martin in interviews, Johnson often smiled and deflected, preferring not to turn her love life into a headline. "I'm a very private person," she once said. "My life is mine, and I want to keep it that way." The pair were occasionally spotted enjoying cozy dinners in Malibu, vacations in Europe, or family outings with Paltrow, who has often spoken fondly of Dakota. Their blended family dynamic was praised as one of Hollywood's healthiest. The distance that changed everything. But as their careers flourished, time became their biggest challenge. Chris's demanding global tours and Dakota's growing commitments as both an actress and director created a gulf that neither could fully bridge. "They tried to make it work, but it got harder," said a mutual friend. "When you're constantly in different time zones, even love can start to feel stretched thin." Those close to the couple insist there was no dramatic fallout, no betrayal, no shouting matches. "It wasn't like that," one source clarified. "They simply grew apart. They wanted different things at this stage in life." Moving forward with grace. Since the split, Dakota has kept a low profile, focusing on new projects, including her directorial debut, A Tree is Blue, and upcoming acting roles. She's also been spending more time with friends and family, choosing self-care and introspection over public drama. She's incredibly self-aware, another source said. Dakota understands that endings can also be beginnings. She's focusing on her work, her creativity, and the people who bring her peace. Martin, meanwhile, continues to pour his energy into Coldplay's ongoing projects, reportedly working on the band's final studio album. He has spoken in interviews about embracing gratitude and simplicity, sentiments that seem to reflect his approach to the breakup as well. No regrets, only respect. Despite the sadness surrounding the end of their relationship, those who know them insist that both Dakota and Chris have no regrets. They loved each other deeply. "That's never been in question," a close friend said. But they also love themselves enough to know when something no longer fits. They've handled it with the same quiet dignity that defined their time together. For fans, the news may mark the end of one of Hollywood's most understated love stories, one built not on spectacle, but on authenticity and mutual respect. And while their romantic journey may be over, It seems clear that both Dakota Johnson and Chris Martin are embracing this new chapter with the same calm strength that first brought them together.